Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Manhunt on for Beverly shooter. Police have launched a manhunt for a man who they believe shot and killed 28-year-old Kimberly Bryan in Beverly District near Gully on April 3rd. Several operations have been carried out in search of the shooter. We have not been able to capture him as yet, said head of the Manchester Police Superintendent Lloyd Darby. Bryan had just shared Sunday dinner for himself and two of his relatives when a gunman walked up and shot him in his face. A report from the Constable's Corporate Communications Unit said about 7:25 p.m., Bryan was at his sister's shop when a gunman entered, ordered an item, and exited. The police said shortly after, explosions were heard and Bryan was seen suffering from a gunshot wound. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. A relative who asked not to be named believes that Bryan's killer was in relation to an argument at a party in the neighboring community of Evergreen. He did have one argument with one guy in Evergreen on Saturday night at a dance, the relative said. Bryan was reportedly performing stunts with his car when the man allegedly threatened to kill him. Superintendent Darby said the man who is accused of making the threat was taken into custody. Speaking at the Manchester Chamber of Commerce Town Hall meeting at the Manchester Golf Club last Thursday, Darby listed a person of interest in the matter. He said Manchester has recorded an increase in murders, with 13 people being killed since the start of this year in comparison to 8 for the corresponding period last year. He said the police have a clear-up record of 46% in relation to murders. We have cleared 4 of the murders that have occurred this year, with an additional 2 from last year, he said. There are at least 3 other murders that we are close to also solving, he added. He said the motives for the murders committed in Manchester vary. We don't have a gang problem in our parish. We have, however, groups that are involved in illegal activities, scamming, robberies, and sometimes there are conflicts between how the spoils are shared, and we have some incidents of murder emanating from the kind of conflict, he explained. 5 high-end vehicles stolen from Carmart in one night, man charged. A man accused of stealing 5 high-end motor vehicles from a popular car dealership in New Kingston in one night was charged by police on Monday. Richard Michael Sudlow, aka Richard Simpson, was charged after 3 BMWs, a Mercedes-Benz, and a Range Rover were stolen from the dealership which sells used and new motor vehicles. Sudlow is charged with office breaking and larceny, 5 counts of larceny of motor vehicles, conspiracy, receiving stolen property, and making a false declaration. The vehicles were reportedly stolen on March 16, 2022. Details of the robbery were not immediately available, but reporters understand that someone gained access to the office at the dealership and pressed keys that were found. Whichever vehicle responded was driven off the property. Company representatives discovered the robbery the following day and reported the matter to the police. Sudlow was recently held driving the Range Rover in St. Elizabeth. He was detained and, following further investigations, was charged in connection with the robbery. May 16 trial for businessman Michael Esau. The trial of businessman Michael Esau, who is charged with resisting arrest and indecent language, has been pushed back to May 16. The trial did not start in the St. James Parish Court, as the prosecution indicated that it needed more time to hand over an understanding witness statement. As a result, a new trial date was set and his bail extended. Issa is being represented by attorneys Michael Hemmings and Gordon Brown. During yesterday's proceedings, Hemmings argued that the charges currently against Issa ought not to stand in the absence of his previous charges of negligent loss of firearm, which the court dismissed by way of no evidence ruling on March 17. However, Parish Judge Keisha Grant countered, saying Issa's current charges do not need a parent charge in order for him to be tried. Issa was arrested and charged with negligence, loss of firearm, resisting arrest, and indecent language on the night of January 13, hours after his stepson, Gabriel King, was murdered. It is understood that the loss of the firearm was not connected to the death of the child, who was autistic. King's mother, which drew national outrage, reportedly happened when his mother, Amoiliok Issa was carjacked while driving along the Tokomain Road towards downtown Montego Bay, St. James. The mother was reportedly maneuvering around potholes when men approached her, slapped her in the face, and dragged her from the car before driving off with young King in the back seat. The vehicle was later abandoned off the Fairview Main Road with the child's body lying on the back seat of the car with the throat slashed. Cop cleared of corruption charge, seek reinstatement. A police constable who was cleared of corruption charge is now seeking to return to duties after nearly 5 years on suspension. Adrian Downing was charged for breaching the Corruption Prevention Act following allegations that he collected $12,000 to return a cell phone that was seized during a police operation. He has been on suspension since 2017 when he was charged. His attorney, Donovan Collins, said he is now in the process of writing to the Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson to inform him of the outcome of the case and request that Adrian be reinstated. From the matter is completely favorable, then he should get back his job, but it takes a process, he told reporters. Adrian was acquitted in the Trelawney Parish Court on April 1, midway throughout his trial after prosecutors offered no further evidence against him. The case reportedly collapsed because the main witness did not attend court on several dates after he had comments giving evidence in cross-examination by Adrian's attorney. The attorney believes that police investigators sometimes are too quick to file criminal charges. In this case, I don't believe they should have charged him. They should have done some more investigation to ensure that they understand the legislation properly, he said, referring to the Corruption Prevention Act. Anger growing. Government Senator Kevin Gale has pointed out that the motor vehicle duty concession benefit, which the present administration has signaled its intent to remove from the prerequisites offered to the public sector workers, is not properly handled, could jeopardize the compensation review process for the sector. I would say, if proper consultation and understanding does not take place, the continued deliberations on the compensation review with the Minister of Finance could become hazardous, the senator told reporters on Sunday. Senator Gale stressed that the concession is a major benefit for people remaining in the public sector. Traveling officers view it as a major dependent, especially those that, based on their job, must travel extensively and navigate terrain, he told reporters over the weekend. The benefit includes a 20% concession on customs duty and exemptions from other tariffs that would usually apply to vehicle importation. Purchase of a vehicle with this type of support is seen as a capital expense and also an investment. An increase in salary, in my view, will not substitute this benefit. Many traveling officers use the motor vehicle upkeep to pay the car loans over the maximum period of the loans, which may be equivalent to the duration of the duty concessions, Senator Gill said, adding that the concession is just an ease. Several government workers have taken to social media platforms to express strong disapproval over the planned removal of the benefit, following statements by Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, who indicated last week that the government wants to remove the duty concession which thousands of public sector workers are entitled to as part of their benefit packages. Workers are incented because it appears that the proposed removal of the provision is a subtraction of their benefits. We learn to do addition in math before subtraction. In the absence of a whole picture, it's difficult to be calm, said Senator Gale, who was Bustamante industrial trade union representatives, some public sector workers. He said he had raised the matter with the finance minister previously, wherein some employees in the sector had already been denied the benefit under the instruction of the Minister of Finance. Senior trade unionists weighed in on the issue as the clock wound down on an ultimatum for Jamaican Confederation of Trade Unions JCTU from the finance minister to present documents detailing the compensation review for the public sector. The JCTU said it had informed the finance minister that normalcy cannot be guaranteed in the sector if it does not receive the documents by today. It is also demanding that a meeting is held within the next 2 weeks to start finalizing the compensation review. The Confederation, meanwhile, has categorized the proposal to remove the long-standing duty concession benefit as an attempt to divide and rule member unions of the JCTU. It said it wants to review documents in order to analyze the results of the consultant's report and recommendations so that it can be wrapped up discussions on finalizing the review process. Opening the 2022-2023 budget debate in March, Clark advised that it will cost the government more than $100 billion to reconstruct the system of public sector compensation over the next 3 years. He told Parliament that approximately $17 billion of that is for certain categories of allowances that, up until the financial year, has been classified as programs and not wages. Dr. Clark said the reconstructing is aimed at overhauling the system of salaries and other emoluments in the public service to make it more equitable. One senior staff court member stated, "I am ready to strike. I was never a fan of protest actions, but these people take civil servants for tools. Right now, it's as if it's only one union they're corresponding with and everyone else is in the dark, being delivered whatever with a take it or leave it approach. I am livid." The employee said not only is she willing to protest, but she is willing to rally as many people as possible. Another said, "This is what we get from no new taxes and undercutting of the incomes of public sector workers." While the public is of the perception that there are no new taxes, then these things are imposed on workers that may as well be taxes because we end up going home with less. To benefit from the motor vehicle import duty concession, applicants must be officers appointed and confirmed in a traveling post in the public service and be eligible for full upkeep, commuted or fixed allowances. Vehicles can't be older than 3 years and commercial vehicles are barred. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.